This is a story. I want to get this straight to everybody listening. Go back to 2018. When the markets crash in December, it's not a good sign. The clown playing president at the time, the only thing that he did, that he promised to do, was to lower taxes for the bigs, the private equity groups, and himself, Trump, put deep pressure on Powell, Jerome Powell, the Fed head, to lower interest rates because the economy was going down big in the stock markets. And he did. In January, they announced that they were going to lower them, and it turned it around. So if the markets go down heavy in December, it's not going to be a happy new year. They're in an economic crisis, I believe is the worst in modern history, with them inflating, artificially pumping up the economy. What are we, over $30 trillion in debt, $31 trillion in debt. And now you're hearing, by the way, one after another, the IMF, what is it, the International Monetary Fund, they came out this past Thursday and warned of very, very difficult economic times for the entire globe. The retail sales, by the way, that does not include accounting for inflation. So the retail sales are down 0.6% in November, according to the Commerce Department. When you look at inflation at 7.1%, retail sales are down a lot more. And then when you put in the real inflation number, as John Williams Shadow Stats does, you have real inflation around 15%. So sales are way down. This thing's going down big. And now they're talking about bringing interest rates to 5.1%. But still you have a 7.1% inflation rate, so you really have negative interest rates. And you have much higher inflation. But the economy can't take it. We are into the worst financial crisis and geopolitical crisis, socioeconomic crisis in the history of the world. And now, with them raising interest rates, inflation continued to skyrocket. What the COVID war did is unprecedented. It's incalculable, the damage it's done. It killed the lives and livelihoods of billions of people. You mentioned about what's going on in Sri Lanka. It's the New World Disorder. It's going on all over. Yep. When people lose everything and they have nothing left to lose, they lose it. And they've lost everything. Look at all the businesses just in America that have gone out of business. What, a third of the dry cleaners? Gone. What's office occupancy rate? Depending on what you look at in the metro areas, it's around 40%. You mean it's 60% lower? Oh, no more happy hours. Oh, don't have to, again, go to the dry cleaners. I'm working from home now. Oh, all the delicatessens, all of the businesses that used to depend on commuters, gone. Well, again, Mussolini called it the merger of state and corporate powers. I mean, look at this chip bill that they did, this multi-billion dollar chip bill. Yeah, go open a place up here. Here's money to go do it. Hey, I'm a big guy. I want tax credits. The rest of you workers of slave land, you pay everything. Look what the IRS, $80 billion go into the IRS so they can hunt down the small businesses and we the little people of Slavelandia. You think the Buffetts and the Gates and all the big shots out there don't know how to beat the system and have the whole deal done? You're not going to get a penny from them. They're going to go after us. So I call it a communist fascist state. The NASDAQ was down 3.2%. The S&P 2.49%. And the Dow 2.25%. The NASDAQ today, year to date, from its high rather, is down 31% in 2022. So it's deep in bear territory. Bear territory is 10%. But don't worry, when all else fails, they take you to war. What followed the Great Depression, World War II. What followed the dot-com bust, the war on terror. Well, the big issue is inflation. And again, the economy was artificially injected with all this monetary methadone to keep the money junkies high. Everything should have crashed in 2020 when they locked down most of the country and most of the world. And it's just artificially boosted up with record low interest rates and countless trillions of dollars pumped in by the government. And now with inflation, and they kept, lying about it or being stupid, whatever you want to decide. First it was temporary and then it was transitory. They lied about it. You're looking at the EU with what, 8.6% in inflation rate and negative interest rates minus a 0.50. And the United States, where you have the inflation rate just came in at 9.1, and it was temporary and transitory. So they're going to keep raising rates. The higher rates go, the deeper the economy goes, the deeper the markets go. End of story. And you're looking what happened over in Canada recently. They just raised rates 1%. Oh, and that clown over there playing his central bank steward was BSing too, that he didn't expect inflation to go this high. Now let's put this into perspective too. Now anything on variable rates goes way up. So all that office, commercial sector, warehouse, all the commercial real estate, you got a lot of variable loans. They're going to pay way more. Oh, and the $31 trillion debt the United States, now you got to pay more debt on that. And then you look at the emerging markets. The dollar goes up when interest rates go up. They got to pay more money. Their currencies go down. They got to pay a lot more dough. So again, taking a global economic perspective, now you're going to start seeing people taking to the streets and protest the lack of basic living standards. Government corruption, crime, violence. You think you got an immigration and refugee problem now? Ain't seen anything yet. They've been pumping cheap money in since 2014. Negative rate.